This year I've been trying out all kinds of permanent outdoor lights, but there's still one more option to try out. This is the Lumary Outdoor Permanent Eve Lights Max. Huge thank you to Lumary for sponsoring this video. Today we're gonna check out what is awesome about these and compare them to the other lights I've tested out to see which one might be the best for you. So starting off here, this is the 158 model. Now typically you'll see about 150 feet, but with the 150 feet, there's usually only 108 lights, where this has 120 lights. And then this has a little bit longer length. So excited to test that out. And then we have warm white down to 2,200 Kelvin and all the way up to cool white at 6,600 Kelvin. So a wide range there, 16 million colors. It uses RGB AI. These are outdoor rated. And then this has a removable base to be able to easily attach it to your eaves. And this is IP65 rated, so this will work just fine outside. Let's get this unboxed. So in here you have a measuring guide. Now typically they recommend doing 2 to 4 inches away from the wall. Now the closer it is to the wall, the more it kind of illuminates the home. If you get a little too far, further than 7 inches, you're just gonna see the light there. So I'll probably be doing about 4 inches today. And then here, let's go ahead and see what these light strips look like. And here we have the lights. Now this is very different. So here we have a little mount that we can easily attach onto the eave with the 3M adhesive, and then we are able to screw it in as well. So then you don't see any screws, and then all we need to do is slide these on and those are able to work. And then the lights itself have a 103-degree projection. And here you can see they have individual LEDs for the warm white over here and the cool white, and then the RGB light there in the middle. So that looks really nice. And then also here in the box, it does come with clips if you need to orient the cable in any way. Maybe you want it going around a corner or something. You have clips, you have screws, and then here it comes with a bunch of anchors as well as screws. Anchors are going to be best if you need to put this in stucco or something like that. I haven't used them yet on a metal soffit. And if we zoom in further here, you can see that these screws are self-tapping, which saves a ton of time without needing to drill a pilot hole. So here you have some extra bases that you can use, as well as extra adhesives. Here it comes with a remote that you'll be able to easily control, but then this is also compatible with the Lumary app, and then you'll be able to use Google Home as well as Amazon Alexa to be able to control it. Here we have our IP67 rated power brick. Here we have the Wi-Fi module, and then here we have plenty of cord to go from the power to then get this installed. And then this comes with 2 different extension lengths. So I forgot to measure the power cord on exact length there, but let's go ahead and measure the rest. Now I was wrong about how many extensions there are. There are actually 3 extensions. One of them was just already connected to the power cable, but we have a small, medium, and large, and the small cable is about 4 feet. Then if we go to the medium, that's at 8 feet. And then here, if we go to the large, that's about 11.5 feet. And then coming all the way down here, each string of light is longer than my tape measure, coming in at 27.5 feet. So that will hopefully help you get these measured correctly. So if you need to go like from a gap from one part of the home to the other, you'll use the short one. And then if you're going from a lower level to a higher level, that is when you will use the longer one. So on the home we're doing today, I'll only need the longer one once. I might need the other short one at some point. Let's take a look at the difference between the lines of string from Lumary and Govee. So here we have the Lumary, and if we put them center to center, you're at about 17 inches of light. Then here, if we take the Govee lights too, it's very similar. That's actually about 16.5. And then here we have the Govee Pro, where those are a length of about 20 inches apart. So with these, you're getting quite a lot of light. And then again, it's up that 158, so you get a little bit more light. And here, let's compare the puck size of each of these. Now, the Lumary is the biggest, but because it does have that bracket, and then the other ones are a little bit smaller. The other benefit of the Lumary here is it has a bigger sticky pad, so it's going to be adhered to your home a lot stronger. Before we begin, we're going to plug them in, make sure they are all working. Now we're going to head into the Lumary app. We're going to add a device, make sure that we enable for Bluetooth and location. And here I'm going to push this little button right here, and it should automatically find new devices available. If you don't see it, you do need to put it in pairing mode, which you hold down the button for 4 seconds. And now we can add the device, and then we're going to select our Wi-Fi network we want them to connect to. Now that we have it connected, it's now being added into the app, and we're going to name them Holiday Lights. And here we have 120 bulbs, so we're going to confirm, And now we have the option to quickly adjust those. We can then go over to color, make them any color. And then I can quickly adjust the scene by pressing the button on the control box, but we'll cover more of that later. One of the most important things is how easy they are to install and then what they actually look like. So let's go ahead and install the Lumary lights. Now before we install these, it's very important to clean the soffit and then wait till it dries before you put the adhesive on, just so everything is sticking properly and long term. Now routing the power cable usually takes the most time, but we have a convenient extension cord right here that we're going to start with. And then I easily attach the power box to the awning here. Let's clean up the cables. That was easy. Now the first thing I'm going to do is make sure that I get the peak here to be the right length on each side so that it's all looking even all the way down here to the bottom. And to do this is what I've done is created this cardboard template. So all I need to do is put the light in here. String's going to go this way. I can push it up against the house, remove the adhesive, and then easily press it on. And at the peak, I'm going to put the light puck right here, and then I'm going to line this up to the corner, and then I can press it there. And then as I flip this around to go the other side of the peak, they'll both be even. Hopefully that makes sense. Now, one thing to note is first I'm going to go through and just use the adhesive to get them all up. But then if I want to go back and screw them in, I'm going to have to undo every puck. If I try to undo one puck in the middle, it's not going to budge because everything is right. So I'm going to need to go through one at a time, undo them all, screw them in, and then go through the next one. Install it, take it off, screw it in, then put it back on, move on to the next one, and then make sure that this wire is straight from one light to the next. And here I'm going to start with my first light at the top of this peak to get that centered using my cardboard pattern. It just took a second to orient it the right way, peel off the adhesive, and then hold it down for about 10 seconds, move on to the next light. Now, after I'm all done, I'll come back to areas like this peak where the wire might be hanging down and use a clip to secure it for a nice finish. And here's where we tie it into the power. Now let's head to the other end and add the next string of lights. Now, one thing that is nice about doing the brackets this way is if I'm trying to line something up and it's not quite working the way I want it to, all I have to do is undo the brackets and I can move it to another position and try and see if lining it up slightly different is better, where on other lights, I don't have the option to just quickly remove the light like that. So I'm gonna move this down and see if I can get it to line up this way. So now that gave me an extra light over here that I can try and get lined up. Now the lights didn't end right here, so I'm just gonna go up the side. If they would have, I could have used an extension, but we're just going to extend the next line of rope from the top here. Day one is complete. We are now on day 2 on the upper level. So now the goal is to finish all this without having lights in the wrong spot. So I made a plan, and the plan is to see if one string of lights can go from there to that corner. Then we're gonna use an extension down and have one string of lights go to the last peak. And then we're gonna end with the lights going all the way down the side of the house until we're done, and use an extension if we need to. So I'm gonna start from this end and go that way. And when I do that, make sure that you're using the capped end first, or it's not gonna line up at the other end, and you're gonna have to take them all off the brackets and realign them all. So I'm gonna start over here, go this way, and then just when I end, I'll end. That should all work. Then we're gonna do the next one. I think that's gonna work. So there was the end of the light, and my pattern worked out pretty great. So there we have all the way up to the peak. We have the middle extension cord going down, and then we have it coming up and around, lining up the peak again there, coming over to the side, going all the way down, and then I use the long extension cord to come back and tie into the other length that I have here. All right, let's try them out. Those look so good. All right, so we have the app to control them. We'll go over that in a minute, but you also have a remote control. You will need 2 AAA batteries to be able to set it up. So you just need to turn off the lights, then hold down the power button here for 3 seconds, and then it will work. So on the remote, we have the option to go to red, we can go to green, we can go to blue, then we can go to the warm white, and then we can go to cool white. Then we have the option to change modes up and down, or we can adjust the brightness. So here, let's make sure it's on the most bright, and then we can turn it down just like that, getting it very low. If we press quite again, it will go full brightness. Then here we have the option to adjust the modes. So far those are looking awesome. Just quickly changing the mode. And then here you have an option to do auto. Then here we can push play, and that's actually going to pause any animations, or we can continue an animation with the play pause button. So very simple, but so nice to have. And then whenever you're done, you can press the power button to turn it off. Now going back into the Lumary app, we can simply turn on the lights right here. Up at the top, we have an option to create different scenes. And then down here, you can create some different smart controls as well as other scenes where you can instantly push a button to run certain things. And here you can see those tap to run items are showing here at the top. But if we head into the lights, here we have 4 different sections. We have the color, where we can change from color and white. Here we have the different scenes that are available. And here we have the music tab where you can have it change the lights based on music that is playing. And then here we have a plan where you can automatically have the lights run so that you don't have to turn them on every day. So starting with the lights here, we have 2 options. First, we have the color. So here you have this chart to go to the 16 million colors, but then you can also switch to just a more simplified version here. So if we go through the different lighting options, you can see what those look like: yellow, light blue, blue, dark blue, purple, pink, and red. So then we can go to the white, and I really like the white here. So here we can turn up the brightness, and then here we have the different color temperatures. So we can go all the way up to the 6,600 Kelvin. Then here we can go down to the more middle range. So that's probably about 4,000 Kelvin. This looks really great. I love this color. And then you have the option to go down to the lowest here where it's the most warm it's going to be, and those are fantastic. Now on this page here, you can quickly change all the colors, but up here you have the option to kind of customize exactly the look you want. So if you wanted to go through and choose, half of them are going to be a certain color, we can go through, and instead of selecting all the colors, we can go through and pick out and just choose that every other color is going to be something. Now this is kind of a static thing. You can't save this. So you just choose whatever scene you want, turn it on and off, and whenever you go to this page, it will show up there on the lights. And then as soon as you go through here and select all, you can then quickly change them all. And then if you want to turn off specific lights temporarily, you can go through and use the eraser, which is kind of cool. So that is how you use the lighting page. Now let's jump into the different scenes here. So at the top, you have all kinds of different scenes. You have scenery, where you have a bunch of options here. You have life, festival, so this is going to be your different holidays, and mood. Now with each of these, you can favorite them. So if you find one that you like, you push the heart, and then that's going to show up under your collection of lights. So you can quickly get to your favorites. Now, if you find one that you really like, so let's say that we're going to the festival here, and I found that I liked the Christmas one, but I want to adjust it a little bit, I can tap the menu here, and then it's going to give me the option to adjust it. Now you have your naming up here. So then you can choose your dynamic effects. So there are 20 different dynamic effects. So here are a few of my favorites. Here we have one called stack. So we're actually going to speed this up to the full brightness. So what this is going to do, line by line, it's going to stack new colors onto the end of the line. So here you can see kind of how I've laid out the home, and it's going all the way to the end, getting a little bit faster and starting over. So that's a pretty fun one. Here we have spring water. Now again, the colors can be adjusted. These are just kind of the different animations. And this is gradually doing a gradient between the colors. Looks really nice. Meteor. And here we have spark. Bouncing different colors. So tons of options to customize. So you would just change the name, the effect, and at the bottom you can tap save as once you have found something that you love. Then here you can adjust the speed. So if the effect is a little too fast, you can turn down the speed, or if you want to increase the speed, you can do it there. Now next we have the colors that you can choose for the scene. So we can go through and add more colors if you want them to appear in that scene. And then here, down here, you have the color selection. and then you have the option to preview it. So once I tap preview, it's going to show up on the lights. And then if you like how it looks, you can tap save as and create a new scene, so that then you can go in here into your DIY section and quickly choose that scene. So a ton of different options. All right, now we go into the music tab options. So the lights follow the music collected by the phone or microphone. So if I'm playing music on my phone, the lights are then going to kind of bounce or play based on what is happening there. So that's really fun to add to the environment. If you are outside hanging out, you can do some fun stuff there. Now the last tab here is our plan. So the first option is you could just set a countdown. Maybe you want the lights to turn off in 2 hours or something like that. Just temporarily you have them on. You can go through here, choose the time, hit confirm. Let's just choose 1 minute here. And then you can see that these are now going to turn off at 1 minute. There we go. Then here we have the option to set a timer. So here I automatically have them turn on at 5:30 p.m. They're going to turn on every day. And then you can have them switch the mode, and then here we can have them turn off. So it's great that you can set schedules, you can set it per day of the week, and then you have these different actions you can perform. So perform the action, you can switch that move light, and then turn on the lights to the exact scene. So great that you have tons of options there. And then down here at the bottom, if you want to just quickly turn off the lights, you just need to press the power, and now the lights are off. And now it's time to talk about the differences between all of these and how they look. Now, first off, these all work great, but I have had a ton of people tell me how they love the Lumary Max. A lot of people in the neighborhood were asking about these. They are the biggest puck. They're a lot brighter. Here, as we go through the different white options, you can see that they get very warm, they get very white, so you have a ton of options there. Install was definitely the easiest with the Lumary, being able to use the adhesive for the bracket and then easily sliding it off, and then quickly using the self-tapping screw. Amazing. That was so good. And then it had plenty of extension cables that I could use. And then the Lumary Max had 158 feet with 120 lights, where the Eufy E22, the Govia lights too, they go to 150 feet and they only have 108 lights. And so those are the Lumary Outdoor Permanent Lights Max. I'm very impressed with all these can do, from the install to all the different colors and scenes you have in the app. So easy to use, and these look great. Now, compared to all the other ones, these are so bright. They kind of washed out my camera compared to the other lights that I tried out. So that is so great to see. And then I love the range of the white colors, and then how good just the RGB colors look. So if you have any further questions, please let me know down in the comments below, and you can be sure to check them out down in the description to pick one up today to make your house look so good. Thanks so much for watching. See you on the next one.